Everybody's clamoring now. Keep hearing talk. Is he going to do another Mummy now? Is he going to do another Mummy? You know?
Gosh, I don't know any juicy details about it, but it's kind of been an open-ended question for some time now. I'm not opposed to it. Hey, I don't know an actor who doesn't want a job. I don't think I've been this famous and unsalaried at the same time in my professional life, so sign me up.
That's an interesting combination, famous and unsalaried.
Yes. That's okay. We all got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
She saved him. She wasn't trying to hurt him. She was trying to help him.
Who are you talking about?
He's going home. She did that.
Charlie.
She didn't try to hurt him. She did it to send him home.
Do you feel lightheaded, Charlie? Look at me.
She's trying to help him.
Who?
Ellie. She was trying to help him. She just wanted to send him home. Do you ever get the feeling that people are incapable of not caring? People are amazing.
Welcome to the actor's side today. Well, you all know him. He's had a long career, major movies, big successes, and now I think in many ways his biggest success, certainly one that's got a lot of talk about it, starting at the Venice Film Festival and moving right on here. Please welcome the star of The Whale, Brendan Fraser. Hi, Brendan.
All right.
Thank you for coming in.
Pleasure.
And congratulations on The Whale and all of this. It's amazing.
Thank you.
I think you started out this season when it was at Venice becoming what they call a meme. I think that's the term. Went viral everywhere. Your reaction to the incredible standing ovation that the film got right out there. It must have meant a lot. It looked like it did.
I was quite moved, but it's my first time at Venice, and second time seeing the Whale. First time with an audience.
Oh, wow.
And also, I didn't have my glasses on at that screening, so everything was a little pixelated. So maybe my eyes were leaking a little bit as a result. No, it was quite moving and emotional and sort of outside the experience of my professional life. So I was really pleased that it was received with as much enthusiasm. That was rewarding.
But the last few years, you've been working with some amazing directors. Obviously, Darren Aronofsky here. Steven Soderbergh in No Sudden Move was a movie I really liked. That was a tight,
Thank you.
great movie. Martin Scorsese, Killers of the Flower Moon, a movie we can't wait to see next year, right?
Same. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. That was gratifying to work with a masterful filmmaker, and it felt, the experience of it felt like being what I imagined it would be like in a Renaissance artist's studio with all of the apprentices bringing him all the tools of filmmaking, and he just gives them tasks and they whisk away and they make something incredible. It's an environment where everyone is dedicated to such a high level of professionalism that that's the reward in and of itself to be in that environment.
So what did you think when you got this script and you look at this and playing it? Because yes, there's all of this, kind of physical stuff that you have to do and the makeup and everything that goes into it, the prosthetics, but it's so emotional and it's so there, it's so three-dimensional human being, which I thought was extraordinary about it.
You can't lose sight of it being one man's story.
Right.
It's not everyone's story, but it's one person's story. And he isn't who he is as he presents to the world.
Right.
He's a father, he's an educator, he's a man. He has a complex, full life, and his health is compromised from his overconsumption and some mental health issues that he's been grappling with. And his need to reconnect with his his daughter, who he hasn't seen for a number of years in a meaningful way. And it's the arc of a redemption story that is, I think, at the heart of this movie. Until the breathless moments that the film concludes with, we're not sure if Charlie's going to succeed or not. But
No.
that's vintage Aronofsky right there, a filmmaker who never challenged the human condition with
Right.
any easy answers for his audience.
No.
And that gauntlet is clearly thrown down again. So when seeing The Whale, there's likely going to be an expectation walking into it than the experience of seeing the film itself, however that makes you feel. But what I can say with a strong degree of certainty by story's end, you may need to gather yourself or reorient the way that you felt about the subject matter before you walked in.
Yeah. But you had dealt with prosthetics, obviously. So
The technology's changed, but in
Yeah.
some ways it stays the same. What it comes down to is that the actor needs to be very patient. Sit still, stay
how many
hydrated.
hours
Stay
did you have
hydrated.
to be patient?
Four to get into it and another to get out of it. But
Yeah.
you'll never hear me complain because Adrian was there an hour before me and an hour after to clean up and get ready to do it the next morning. So
Wow.
it was a partnership that way. And
Yeah.
we become good friends, needless to say.
When you're I just have to, I always am interested in this, when you're in prosthetics and things, and you just want to go out for lunch during a break when they're setting up lights, did you just like go out and like,
Charlie has a mobility issue.
yeah,
So
even in
the
that,
design of this character was such that it obeyed the laws of physics and gravity. So it was cumbersome,
yeah,
with good reason, because putting an actor in a costume and apparatus to emulate weight gain for the character has, in years past, cut the corner on authenticity. It's normally a silhouette of a costume that's worn by a fairly athletic actor,
Yeah.
and it's in service of a cheap joke or
Right.
to vilify a
they
character.
call a fat suit or something like that.
You'll never
which
hear me say that.
I know, because it's not a fat, it's clearly, anybody that sees this movie would never call it a fat suit. It's so real. It's so authentic that I just didn't even know how it was achieved.
with skill and care and preparation,
Right.
and the collaboration of the Obesity Action Coalition, who gave me such good access to people who live with obesity in a way that puts their lives at risk, or has done. It's an advocacy group who have tens of thousands of members to support one another with referrals, support the OIC. Anyway, look, they made sure that we were sensitive to the subject matter so as to never fly in the face of their mission statement, which
Right.
is to end the bias
Yeah.
against those who live with obesity. And in our culture, in our society, it's evident to me that the way that we speak about one another with regard to obesity has to change, because it's the last domain of accepted bigotry and prejudice.
Yeah, without question.
And it's time to retire that, so long as we're doing so much and making such good progress in so many other areas of our culture, that I think that this is hopefully the last one that we can tick off the box.
Yeah.
So for that, we believe that we can change some hearts and minds, I think, with this film, beyond just entertaining people.
I think you will, because in a lot of ways, it's universal. There are scenes in this movie that I look at, like I totally identified with. I mean, this is his thing and the way he reacts, but when you open that drawer and it's all of those chocolate bars and things, I do that all the time. You know, I look at that and I go, I shouldn't have this, but I want it. And I shouldn't have it, but I want it.
That's the struggle that he lives with moment to moment, day to day. And whether it was chocolate bars or any other vice, everyone has that drawer that we pull
everyone
open.
has that drawer.
No matter
which is
what's in that drawer, we've all got it.
Yep.
And you have to decide, is it for me today or not, or do I? And that interestingly enough, is the moment after that scene is when Charlie makes up his mind that he needs to call his daughter.
Right.
And it isn't because he has just spontaneously arrived at that decision, but it's also because he realizes blood pressure is off the charts. He should be calling 911, but he knows that his time is limited and he has to put a plan together if he's to have any salvation.
It's amazing. And speaking of calling 911 and who's urging you to do that here, the supporting cast that you have here, these three women are all so good. Samantha Morton Hong Chow,
Fantastic.
Sadie Sink, just amazing. Must have been amazing to work with all of them.
Let's start with the last first, Sadie Sink.
Yeah.
I watched this kid come of age on this film. I saw her winning the game ball every day. I had
Yeah.
a front row seat.
Wow.
Her green eyes are they're like jewels. You can just see them one way and something new happens, but they're gorgeous every time. She has this brilliant focus
Yeah.
and just like intellectual kinesthetic ability that presages her years. I was often gobsmacked and forgetting my lines and going up. Just seriously, just sitting off camera and how she plays this girl without ever falling into the trope of an angsty teenager. Her approach is that she's a very sad, hurt little girl
Right.
whose emotions have manifested itself in righteous anger towards her father, and she's so courageous in her approach. Hong Chow, Hong just makes everyone better.
Yeah.
First of all,
Right.
she's organic and thoughtful in her approach. She can say more in the pauses and the silences in a scene than she does with the dialogue sometimes, honestly. And I say that with respect to Sam, but she just elevates it. And her character and also Hong's demeanor, she's become a friend. She's nobody's pushover. She's smart as can ever be.
Right.
She has a titanium backbone, and when she tells Thomas, a character played by Ty Simpkins, that you're going to stick around, we're going to have a little chat.
Yeah.
And she calls him out onto the porch to call him out.
Right.
I was in a screening of it and everybody went, ooh. And it is one of the best all-time meet me behind the woodshed scenes that I can think of. And like you really feel for Ty's character when he knows it's time for him to go and he scrams out of there in a hurry.
Oh, yeah.
Samantha Morton was working in the UK when we were shooting this, but she's one of those rare actresses who has such a connection to something that's realistic and authentic. Like if she isn't feeling it, it doesn't come out of her. And she feels everything. So that's why what you get is just this eruption of an emotive state that somehow is gorgeously revealed by the absence of a layer or a filter or something on Sam. I don't know what it is. Since movies I've seen her do in the 90s, there's just, it smacks of authenticity when she works. And
She's amazing. You can see her walk into this scene and just take over. She just knows. It's just really amazing.
Agree.
To watch, and to have those kind of scene partners and all of you working together. Because when I saw the picture, I'd heard Brendan, and this whole thing. That's what people talked about. And then I go like, people need to talk about everybody here.
I agree.
Because you all work as such a brilliant ensemble together.
Thanks for that. You're only as good as the people you work with, so I feel very lucky indeed.
Yeah. You've done so much great stuff. What are you looking forward to? What are you looking forward to doing now? Next?
Work-wise, you mean? Like work-wise.
Because you've never, people say, come back. He's come back. At different times. I've heard it, not just now, I've heard it before. He's come back. I don't think you've ever been away, and from what I can tell.
I would have gone out of my mind if I wasn't doing something all the time. And so it's kind of a philosophical question. Was I away or was it away from me? It doesn't matter. I'm here now. I'm grateful for everything that has brought me to the place I find myself, which is a good one. And each of those was a brick in the road that I'm just looking forward to seeing where it takes me from here. I don't have any real specific designs on what I want to do next, but I do know that at the ripe old age of 54, I feel like it should be something that I really, for lack of a better term, I just care about. That I really, it doesn't mean I didn't care about what I was doing before, but I feel like I'm starting to feel that there really is a sense of permanency to what it is that we do in this funny game of make believe and dress up, that it really can reach people in a way that can change the way that they see the world, if only for a little while. That's okay for me, but I'm hopeful that, you know, with that headspace, that I'll either bring that to material and collaborate with people who have the same idea, or I'll just seek it out.
Yeah. Well, I can tell, and what I've seen in your career, you know, 30 years going strong, you can do it all. I think you really can. Thank you for joining us on the Actors Side,
Thanks,
Brendan.
Pete.
Thanks a lot.
It's a pleasure.